Okay, we're going to be doing the solid geometry of this square-shaped pyramid over here with this cutting plane going through it. They've asked us to draw the given front view, the sectional top view, and a sectional left view. Okay, they also ask for a true shape. Planning, front view is going to go there, top view is going to go there, left view is going to go there, true shape is going to go here. So just make sure that you do that little bit of planning in the beginning. I'm going to start out and I'm going to draw a front view. I'm going to start by just drawing a construction line there. Sorry, not the front view. I'm going to start with the top view. I'm going to get my XY axis in place. Just drawing a XY axis with my 0.3 pencil coming across here. Label it with an X and a Y. X and a Y over there. Okay, I'm going to drop a construction line down. That's my set square, so I'm in the middle over here, just a construction line coming all the way down there. I'm going to set my pair of compasses to a radius of 14, and I'm going to come in over here and draw in a circle on that line. Right, once I've got that circle, I'm going to draw a construction line coming across the center over there, and I'm then going to take tangent lines just in construction lines. Just going to draw construction line, tangent lines going over here. The reason why I'm doing this in construction lines is that some of these lines might be cut away, and I just need to make sure that I don't mess things up for myself as we're going through this thing. So there we go, there's my construction lines going over there. Try and draw a little bit more accurately than I'm drawing over here. Let's go make that sure on there, and then that goes over there. Right. Okay, there we go. There's my square. I'm then going to take that up into this view over here. Just take some construction lines going up into the view so that we can get the front view done. Right, go up here, going to draw in the base coming across there. It tells me that it's got a height of 78 millimeters. There we go, 78 millimeters, measuring up over here. Just gets in there, no, not a problem. Very steep little pyramid. Okay, I'm going to take that, draw in a line going with my 0.7 pencil, not with the 0.5. There we go. Right, that's that. Draw in a line going down over here. There we go. Draw in a line coming down over here. Right. It says that I need to measure up 50 to that point over there, so I take my pair of dividers, measure 50 millimeters, come in over here, mark that off over there, and it says that I have a 45-degree angle. Take my 0.3 pencil and draw in the cutting plane, long dash, short dash, long dash, short dash, long dash. Take your 0.7 pencil again and just darken that in over there, darken that end over there, and you label that with an A and an A over here. Right, once that's done, I can now start looking at dropping some lines down onto this over here. But I think the very first thing that I'm wanting to do is just to draw out what the left view of this thing is going to look like. To do that, I take a line coming out over here from the top view corner over there, and I say, all right, I want to have my view for my left view somewhere, say over there. That's where I'm wanting it to start. Where that intersection is, I'm going to draw a construction line at 45 degrees coming down through that intersection that I've got over there. You'll see it crossing the XY axis over there. I draw a XY axis coming down over here, and I label that with an X and a Y over there. Right, once I've got that in place, I can also label that 1 and 1. That's always a good idea. Make sure that it's long enough that you can actually see lines going through it. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to take lines coming across over here from the base going across there, and from the apex going across there. Right, I'm going to quickly label this. I've got a 0. I always like to label the apex with a 0. I'm going to call that number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 over there. Take that up over here, number 1, number 2, and number 4, number 3, okay? I now need to take that across into my view. I'm going to show you 2 different methods of doing that. You can take a line coming across to that 45 over there. That is point number 2. I'm going to take that line going up over here, and it links up with point number 2 over there, and label that. Don't forget labels on this. Number 3 and number 1, I can take a line coming across going up, or I can take a measurement over here with my pair of dividers from the XY axis to that number 3 over here. Find number 3, come across to the XY axis and mark that off and label that number 3. I'm just going to show you that that can work if I take this across over here, taking that across, touches the 45 over there, and you'll see that that gives me that same measurement to where 3 is. You can see 1 and 3 are on the same line. If you look at this, that distance from the XY axis to 1 and the distance from XY axis to 3. If I come over here, there's number 1, take it across, pop it down, and label it as number 1. Okay, so there's number 1 and number 3 on that same point. Number 4, you can see the line over there that I took originally across over here. That's coming up over there. That point is going to be number 4 over there. And number 0, you'll see, is on the same line as this 1 and 3. So I can take that up all the way to the top over there, intersecting with point 0 at the top, and we can label that point 0. Right, once I've got that, I can then draw in some lines going over here. I'm going to do this in construction lines. Remember, we're going to be doing a sectional view, and we don't want to have lines in this drawing that we don't want in dark. So you don't do these lines dark, you do them in construction lines. I then start looking at how does this play out on the view. You'll see that I've got a line over here, which is 0, 3 over there. I'm going to call that point A, all right? Point A over there on 0, 3. I then look over here and I can see that I've got 0 going to 2 and 0 going to 4. So I'm going to label that point B and point C. Right. Point B and C, I'm going to be able to see that on the cutting plane. And then I've got one line over here. There's a 0 and a 1, which means that I've only got one cutting point on this, and I'm going to label that D over there. Right, let's have a look at this. On number 1, 0, I've got point D. I'm going to take a line coming across over here from D to where I find number 1, 0. Okay, let's have a look at this. There is number 1 line coming up, so that point over there, I can label that as D. Come on over here, I'm going to take a line coming across from B and C, and I'm going to say, okay, B is going to be on this 2, 0, and C is going to be on this line 4, 0. Come up over here, take a line coming across. That is on 3, 0, so there is point A on 3, 0, and I'm going to link that up straight away and draw in that cutting plane. There we go. There we go. There we go. And there we go. Right. Okay, as soon as you've done that, take your 0.3 pencil and you're going to put the hatching on very quickly onto that little cutting plane. Right, hatching done. Right, if I've got a little man looking across at this thing, I'm going to be able to see that cutting plane. To be able to see that cutting plane, I must be able to touch it, which means that this top part has been taken away, but I can still see the bottom part. So I draw in lines going from 4 going up to C over there, from 3 from number one, going up to D over there, and from three going up to A over there. Okay, 3 going up to A would be in hidden detail, so there would be hidden detail, hidden detail, hidden detail, hidden detail, and I draw in the hidden detail going up over here. Don't forget to put in hidden detail. There are definitely marks allocated for that. And then a line coming down from 3 to 2 over there. This line coming down there, and the base of it we can draw in solid as well. Right, let's do the cutting plane over here. I can find this point D quite easily, drop that down into the view, and I have got point D over there. I can drop down A quite easily over here, and I can draw in an A over there, okay? B and C, okay? The two methods of getting that. One method would be to say, all right, I have a line coming from B and C, coming across to this line over here, which is line 0, 3. I can drop that point down over here. I'm just going to get another color so that you can see this. Dropping a line coming from that intersection over there, coming down, 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 down to where that 0, 3 is. I can then take a pair of compasses and I can draw a line, a little arc coming around over here. There we go. Take that around like that. And I'll be able to have my B and C. We said that B was going to be on number 2. And C was going to be on this 4, 0 over there, okay? Or what I can do is I can drop a line coming down from B over here, comes down to the 45, comes across over here into the drawing, giving us exactly the same point that I found over there. And C I can take down from here down to the 45 and take that across into the drawing over here. Normally people don't worry about the that first method that I showed you because they get the accuracy that they need. Sorry, that I didn't draw very accurately there. That point is over here, coming down. Yeah, that's much better. I didn't draw accurately enough over there, taking it across, and you can see it links up perfectly on C. Right, I'm going to take a line coming from D to C. There we go. A line going from B to D. A line going from A to B over here. And a line going from C to A over there. As soon as you finish doing that, take your 0.3 pencil and draw in the hatching going across this. Okay, there we go, hatching done. The last thing that we need to do is to get the true shape of the cutting plane. My suggestion is take that off your board, shift it around, get that lined up with your T-square over here. There we go. Stick it down with some masking tape. Drag that down over here. Draw in an XY axis with your 0.3 pencil. Label your XY axis, X and Y. Take lines coming from D, from C and B coming down, and from A coming down. And then you're going to take your pair of dividers and you're going to take the measurements from the XY axis to C, find C, go down to the new XY axis, mark it off and label it. C. Go to B, which is furthest from the XY axis, find B, go down to the new XY axis, mark it off, label it. B. Find A, and you'll see that A and D are exactly the same length. Go to A, come down, mark that off as A. Go to D, come down here to the new XY axis. Sorry, let's just get that D over there. D, that distance, coming down, marking that off. Or I could just draw a line coming across, a construction line coming across from A to where D is, and you'll find that that's the same point. D, note, they are parallel in this, parallel to the XY axis over here. They're going to be parallel to the XY axis over there. If you look over here, A and D, they are parallel to the XY axis in this view as well. Right, okay, let's link that up very quickly. There we go, C to D, A to C, and B to D, and B to A over here. And there is your true shape of that cutting plane. Take your set square. You're going to draw in the hatching over here. There we go. Going across. Okay, I need to go back. I've just realized that I haven't finished that top view yet. Let's take that, slap that around there, and get that lined up again. Let's just get that lined up on that XY axis over there. It's lined up beautifully. Stick that down. Get my 45-degree set square. Let's draw in this top view, the parts that can still be seen. If you look at it, a little eagle looking down on this thing, that top part is going to be removed, but this bottom part is still very much there. So I can draw in the base of this thing. There we go, there we go. There we go. And there we go. And then I have a line which is going to go from 1 going up to D, from 4 going up to, from 3 going up to A, and I've got a line going from 2 going up to B, and a line going from 4 going up to C over there, and that is your drawing done.